Guys, so good to see you again, Shahar, and great to meet you, Vanessa. Thank you so much for your time today. First of all, thanks so much for making me cry in basically every single episode of The Chosen so far. They're so emotional, and you guys just deliver so passionately, and the show is just a wonderful thing. But Vanessa, it's interesting that the ladies in the show seem to get it, the men don't get it. How do you, I don't know if you'd agree with that or not.
That's a very good observation.
Well, there's a reason why the first person who Jesus comes out as the Messiah is a woman. You know, there's a reason why. I don't know what that reason is.
Yeah.
No, I think
that's a great observation. It's true. The women are. The theme is the women are smarter than the men. Are always a step ahead of the men in this show.
I think it's just sometimes there's emotional intelligence too. You know, we're probably more used to less of the fanfare and more of the home, taking care of our families, and so we have to develop a certain sixth sense, I guess, certain sensitivities,
Sensibilidad.
where we are more aware of the nuances in somebody's mood or in somebody's day to day, right? So I feel like that may be the case. I feel like nowadays both women and men kind of have that. I know my husband has that more than I do. So I can't really say that it's only the women.
My wife's definitely more observant than me. That's
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. But it really is funny how and lovely how the show really has elevated the role of women in the ministry.
Absolutely. It's not just all about the men, it's the women are definitely getting their airtime as well. And Shahar, it's been brilliant just to see Peter in season 5 build his confidence. So no spoilers, but just when he's talking to the crowd. And as someone who struggles to be in front of a camera, I'm not used to necessarily being in front. I like being, I like the A cam, not the B cam to me.
Trust me, nothing I like more. I like this exact same height behind the camera. Let me play all the scenes from behind. I like to play the scenes. It's nicer behind the camera. You're relaxed, you can play. Of course.
I love it when he looks to Andrew just for that sort of that peace of mind, just to know that he's doing the right thing. How was that to play?
As always, with my dear, dear, dear television brother, Noah James, is always an incredible delight. He is the funnest person in the world to work with, and has now, until today, become a great friend, and it's so much fun. Whenever I see a scene written of the two of us, I know it's going to be fun. And so that was really, really great, and it's always, the dynamic, it's always together. There was always something interesting that's being created in that dynamic, and always unspoken, no need to say anything. It's always immediately there and filled with love and with support, and we really enjoyed that moment. Although it was hard, it's hard to speak in front of people like that. It is a reality,
Yeah, no, he's really finding his feet, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I love the set piece scenes. There's so many where there's obviously the 12 together, and then all of the ladies as well. So specifically season 4, where the washing of Jesus' feet, how emotional that was. What's it like to be in a big group and all just watch each other work in that scene and scenes like that one?
Yeah, it's a really loving and supportive group. So we're a little bit like. It's like those Pina Bausch movement pieces, everybody supports each other, and it's like we're throwing a ball, and at each second somebody else, whenever it's your moment, everybody else behind them is kind of there to support and protect it with cotton the performance and elevate the performance. And it's an incredibly generous group, so everybody is like that for everybody, super attentive. Like you said, A cam, B cam, when you're off camera, everybody's so attentive and so there for each other to kind of elevate the performances of each other. Then I think, it's really fun. So when you're on the side of the receiving, you just feel so safe and really in a safe environment, you can allow yourself to be vulnerable and take risks and go deep and open your heart,
Absolutely. And just finally, obviously we're into season 5 now. We all know what's coming. Do you ever sort of talk amongst yourselves about how Dallas is going to build this scene? Like, there's so much that we see that we're not necessarily expecting, and it must be exactly the same for the cast until you see the scripts.
For sure.
Totally.
I mean, I know he always says that it's amazing how a show where we know the story, we've heard the story a million times, and people are still wondering, what's the next 2 seasons going to be like? But it's really a testament to the writing of the show that it never ceases to surprise you, even though you know what's going to happen. The way they approach the story from so many different angles, it's almost like you're seeing it for the first time. And I myself can't wait, because I think for my character at least, there's some really crucial pivotal scenes coming up next 2 seasons.
I'm always surprised by what, when we read it, it's always what you expected one moment to be a certain thing. It's always the opposite of what I thought, and I love it. They play and write against what you expect. I don't think for the sake of doing it, just because that's what the truth and the reality of the moment. So it's always, for me, it's always a surprise. Even with the casting, to be totally honest, each role I feel like is so not what you would expect from that character, that I think I always find it to be cool. In the beginning, sometimes you're like, really, that's the choice? And then, of course, how could it be anywhere different? How this must be the choice.
Yeah. It was Joanna's husband's was in Con Air. I had to Google. I was like, I know him from somewhere. I couldn't think where from. Con Air, who knew? Anyway, guys, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you so much for the show.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys!
Hey,